Hello and welcome to the next edition of the BriefingsDirect Voice of the Customer podcast series. I'm Dana Gardner, Principal Analyst at Inter Arbor Solutions, your host and moderator for this ongoing discussion on digital transformation success stories. Our next manufacturing modernization and optimization case study centers on how a Canadian maker of containers leverages the Internet of Things to create a positive cycle of insights and applied learning. We'll now hear how Cube Packaging Solutions in Aurora, Ontario, has deployed edge intelligence to make 21 formerly isolated machines act as a single coordinated system, as it churns out millions of package units per month. We'll now learn how harnessing edge data with more centralized real-time analytics integration cooks up the winning formula for an ongoing journey of efficiency, quality control, an end-to-end factory improvement. Here to describe the challenges and solutions for injecting IoT into a plastic container's production advancement success journey is Len Chopin. He's president at Cube Packaging Solutions in Aurora, Ontario, Canada. Welcome, Len.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Glad you're here. Len, what are some of the top trends and requirements that are driving the need for you to bring more insights into your production process?
The very competitive nature of injection molding, trying to stay ahead of the competition and utilize the intelligent edge to stay abreast of competition, tapping into and optimizing the equipment, downtime, efficiencies, throughput, all the things that help drive the bottom line.
And this is a win-win because you're not only improving quality, but you're able to improve volume. So it's sort of the double whammy here of better and bigger.
Correct. I mean, driving volume, when we're running, we're making money, we're profitable. Optimizing that production, we're even that much more profitable. But using, the analytics, preventive, predictive maintenance protocols, which we're trying to utilize the IoT solutions to help drive, to obviously just increase the uptime on the equipment.
Of course, it's one thing to get intelligence at the edge, but why are sensors in themselves not enough?
So the sensors are very, reactive. They give you information. It's good information. However, leaving up to people to interpret it takes time. Utilizing analytics, pooling the data, looking for trends, and essentially, pooling that data and pushing it to us when we need to know it as well. So we tend to look at a lot of information that's not useful, trying to find the tidbits that we actually need to know in a pool of data. So utilizing the intelligent edge, it's pushing us the information we need when we need it so we can react appropriately with resources.
And in order for us to understand the benefits of when you do this well, let's talk a little bit about before. What was the state when you didn't have sensors, you weren't processing, and you weren't creating a cycle of improvement?
So that was called firefighting mode. I mean, you really have no idea what's running. Is it running? Is it up? Is it down? Is it fast enough? Is it about to go down? Equates to flying blind. I mean, with blinders on. It's really hard in a manufacturing environment to run a business that way. A lot of people do it, and it's very affordable, but not very economical. So it really doesn't drive the bottom line.
What would you say have been some of the biggest challenges in moving beyond that previous state to implementing a full Internet of Things capability?
I'd say the dynamic within our area in Canada is resources. There's a lot of technology out there. There's a lot of, cool things on the edge. Learning about what we can do, how we can apply it, how we can make it fit, and then implementing that into, a meaningful roadmap with resources, technical skills of our IT staff. It's, a new venture for us, so it's definitely a journey. So it's challenging is getting that roadmap, and then sticking to the roadmap, but we quite often divert because there are things that, as we go down the journey, we learn that are more relevant than things that we thought previously were relevant for us. So it's very dynamic, I think, roadmap, which I think it has to be as technology evolves and we delve into the world of IoT, which is quite fascinating for us.
What would you say is the hardest nut to crack? Is it the people, the process, the technology? Those is sort of a cliche, but what among those has been actually the most challenging?
The process, the execution. We found that once you pepper out some IoT, you start doing some data collection, start embarking on some analytics, the creative juices with a lot of the people that previously were disinterested in the whole process become engaged. And then they help steer the ship. And some points will change the direction slightly or identify a need that we previously didn't know that would be more valuable than the path we were down. So people are definitely part of the equation, not part of the problem. For us, it's executing to their expectations now because they do want a lot of this information, the technology applied to their specific problems, and looking for the solutions. So, we've had really good buy-in with the people, and it's just layering on the technical resources to help execute their vision.
I've heard you refer to wanting to become the Google of manufacturing. What do you mean by that, and how has HPE come to your aid in gaining that sort of capability of intelligence?
So the Google manufacturing was first coined by our owner, JR. It's his vision, so it's my job to bring to fruition whatever that means. So the concept was there's just a lot of cool stuff out there. We see things, that's where the Internet of Things is really fascinating. You can refer to it as things. My job's to take how do we get those things and turn them into an investment with an ROI, execution, how are they going to help the business? So the Google of manufacturing is a really wide berth for us, so we can utilize any technology that we see fit to help bring that vision to light. And having the leadership or the ownership open to those ideas and concepts, not fully understanding or having a clear vision of the roadmap, just the end result it's a unique situation. So it's been very good for us.
And again, how has HPE come to your aid? Is it the ability to have technologies at the edge and the core, helping with the process, to just tell me how they fit in?
We just embarked on a large equipment expansion, which is bringing in state-of-the-art technology, essentially doubling our throughput. Our IT backbone, our core was, again, just like our previous equipment, very old, antiquated, not cutting edge at all. It was a burden as opposed to an asset. So part of the moving with the IoT was putting in that solid platform, which HP has provided. We work with the integrator and a project team that mapped out our core for the future. So it's not just built for today's needs, but it's has some expansion capabilities. It's really built for year 2, year 3. We're not fully utilizing it today, but it has been built for the future. And what I understand from HP, they have things coming down the pipeline that are able to bolt on or integrated, that there are no really limitations to the system where you have to scrap an old system, put a new one in. It's scalable, which we think as a platform for becoming the Google of manufacturing is going to be critical for us.
Yeah, future-proofing is always the one of the top requirements. All right, tell us about Q packaging specifically. Tell us about your organization size and what you're doing and what end products are resulting.
So we're about 170,000 square foot facility, employ about 120 employees. Injection molded containers are plastic in nature for the food service, home meal replacement, takeout markets. Located in Canada, majority of our products do ship into the U.S., which is obviously a huge and diverse market. We're also having a focus on sustainability. Our products are reusable, recyclable. They're a premium products that cost a premium price. They're customizable, brandable, which has been Cube's success to growth, where we'll partner with restaurants, sophisticated customers that see the value in the branding and having a robust packaging solution that we do provide.
So, Len, you mentioned that you're in a competitive industry and that margins, therefore, are usually under pressure. So for you to improve your bottom line, even if you can't always change the top line, how do you account for more productivity? How are you turning what we've described in terms of an IoT and data capability into that improvement to your margin? How do you make this into a business outcome?
So for me, I in my head, I kind of refer to it as a plant within a plant. So there's a lot more that you can squeeze out of an operation, knowing what it's up to, not day by day, but minute by minute. Our processes run quite quickly, machine cycle times. Slippage can occur rapidly, but if we can get a grasp on the small slippages or predict failures or predict when something is going out of technical specifications from the injection molding standpoint, it could be producing a poor quality product. So getting a handle on what the machines are doing minute by minute really gives us the advantage to utilize the assets, the people, and optimize the uptime as well as improve our quality to get more product to the market. So it really does drive right to the bottom line.
So, of course, a big buzzword in the industry now is AI or artificial intelligence. We're seeing lots of companies start to dabble in that, but you need to put in place certain things before you could even take advantage of those capabilities to not only predict, but to have, intelligence ahead of time to actually encourage new practices, new processes of how to do things more efficiently. So what do you need to put in place, and perhaps working in conjunction with your integrator and with HPE, that will allow you to then exploit AI when it becomes mature enough for organizations like your own?
From our standpoint, and my understanding of kind of what we're embarking on is utilizing censoring things that were seemingly unrelated. So we're picking up data points off of peripheral equipment that feed into the process. So getting a better handle on the inputs to the process, and the inputs to the equipment, rather than focusing on the throughput and how many parts did I get in a given day. So for us, the AI is about, the equipment uptime, the preventing it from going down by utilizing the inputs to the machines to notify us when we need to be notified. So rather than monitoring equipment with a clipboard and a pen, checking run conditions or temperatures of something up on the roof that's critical to the operation, the AI will hopefully alert us to things that we don't know about or don't see, because they could be at total ends of the operation, yet they're a codependency on a lot of the pre-upstream equipment that feeds to the downstream equipment. So for us, having some transparency into that and having a system smart enough to say, hey, you got a problem, not yet, but you're going to have a problem, allows us to react to that problem before it occurs and causes production upset.
So a total data picture across your entire product lifecycle and your entire production facility will put you in a place to be able to really leverage that AI. But you need to also monitor your costs around the systems. That's a lot of data over a long period of time. Is there anything about what's happening at that data center core and maybe around storage that makes it more attractive to do something like that?
So as I mentioned previously, that there's a lot of data points coming off the machines, and the bulk of it is useless, just other than a historical standpoint. So utilizing the data, not pushing forward what we don't need to push forward, just taking the relevant points. We piggyback on the OEM PLCs to just utilize the data that we need to utilize and then further streamline that data to give us what we're looking for within that process. So it's pushing out the needle in the haystack as opposed to pushing the whole haystack forward is the analogy that we kind of use.
So it's being intelligent about how you gather intelligence.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, I'm afraid we'll have to leave it there. We've been exploring how a Canadian maker of containers is leveraging the Internet of Things to create a positive cycle of insights and applied learning. And we've seen how harnessing edge data and centralized real-time analysis can cook up a winning formula for an ongoing journey of efficiency, quality control, and end-to-end factory improvements. Well, please join me in thanking our guests. We're here with Len Chopin. He's president at Q Packaging Solutions in Aurora, Ontario. Thank you so much, Len.
Thanks for having me.
And a big thank you as well to our audience for joining us for this BriefingsDirect Voice of the Customer Digital Transformation Success Story. I'm Dana Gardner, Principal Analyst at Inter Arbor Solutions, your host for this ongoing series of Hewlett-Packard Enterprise-sponsored interviews. Thanks again for listening. Please pass this along to your IT community and do come back next time.